Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And yes, we're back on the old hobby horses, South African Airways, the canary in the cage. It is completely broke. Completely broke. It's been looted to the point where it has nothing. And remember, just 2 months ago, South African Airways proudly showed off their latest addition to the fleet, a very expensive Airbus coming in to be part of their flight between Johannesburg and New York, which of course they'll never be able to pay for. You know, this is how chaotic the situation is with the canary in the cage. So imagine what it is across the whole state-owned enterprise spectrum. South African Airways is so bankrupt that its creditors may well end up having to pay in if it goes into liquidation. This is according to Les Madison, South African Airways business rescue practitioner. He told a large group of South African Airways creditors on Friday that he believed business rescue rather than liquidation was the only option. To add to the airline's long list of problems, the International Air Transport Association, or IATA, wants a guarantee of 60 million euros, or 950 million rand, by the end of the month, or it will kick the airline out of the system. Neither IATA nor Madison would confirm this. IATA manages a payment system that facilitates airline payments and revenues worldwide, and membership is therefore critical for South African Airways to survive. On Friday, Madison told creditors that auditing firm PwC did make a high-level review of South African Airways finances. And he said that after holding consultations with government, unions, IATA, financiers and legal advisors, he believes that it would be possible to save the airline. Now, it would be possible if the COSATU, the NUMSA, all these trade unions didn't get involved, because, you know, they're going to destroy it, because the L factor is missing, you know, the old logic factor. They're going to be wanting their staff to get an 8% increase in salaries and no one to be fired while the airline is bankrupt. I mean, hello, anyone at home? Anyway, let's continue. It was PwC's study that shows how disastrous a liquidation process could be. South African Airways leases most of its aircraft, Madison said, which means there are few assets. According to him, these assets would not even cover the claims of the preferential creditors. If you register a claim, you may be expected to contribute to costs, he warned creditors. None of the creditors present objected to the continuation of the business rescue process. Even the scant figures provided to creditors made it clear just how grim South African Airways' situation is. This is under black economic empowerment. This is what the ANC government is doing to South Africa. It is destroying it at every single level. South African Airways' last published financial statements was in 2017. Since then, its finances have been kept a closely guarded secret. According to the latest statements up to March 2017, South African Airways still has a turnover of 30.7 billion rand, but the new documentation, which was made available to creditors, showed that the annual turnover has plummeted to 23.8 billion rand. Even though Vuyani Yarana, the airline's former chief executive officer, told MPs he was committed to reducing personnel numbers, this initiative seemingly bore little fruit. According to the 2017 annual report, South African Airways has 5,752 employees. The new documents show that there are currently 5,421. Clutie Murray, another business rescue practitioner involved in the project, also believes South African Airways could be saved. However, the airline was being suffocated by provisions of the Public Finance Management Act, or PFMA, says Murray. South African Airways has to comply with the provisions because it is a state-owned company. Not only do the government's requirements for preferential procurement, for example, lead to the additional costs for South African Airways, but they also stop the airline responding as quickly as its competitors. Murray, whom the trade union Solidarity named as its preferred business rescue practitioner in its court application to have South African Airways placed in business rescue, gave an example of such an instance involving Girana. He said, Girana wanted to appoint an international consultancy firm to investigate certain aspects of South African Airways operations. When he finally got the go-ahead from National Treasury 8 months later, the opportunity had passed, of course. Murray said that the need to save South African Airways would take priority over PFMA's compliance during business rescue. The South African Airways employment figures were also not as high as people thought, he said. If you strip out the staff at Air Chiefs and South African Airways Technical, the number of staff members per available seat does not compare all that badly with others airlines, he said. Madison has asked the creditors for a postponement with regards to publishing the business rescue plan, due on January the 13th to January the 28th. The Act makes provision for such a postponement to be granted if the creditors agree. He said various possible scenarios have been modelled and stress-tested before the plan could be finalised. However, the successful rescue would be dependent on obtaining post-commencement financing. South African Airways' existing financiers have already provided 2 billion rand, but the 2 billion rand promised by government has not yet been paid. Why are we surprised? Madison announced that he and Siviwe Dongwana, who was appointed as co-practitioner on Thursday at the request of South African Airways financiers, have appointed the international group Alvarez and Marshall to examine the airline's operations. Juliet de Hutton, an associate at law firm Barmans, was appointed as independent chairperson of the Committee of Creditors. Madison and Dongwana will report on the rescue process monthly. So there you go, guys. This is where all the state-owned operations or enterprises are going. Down the gurgler. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, stay safe. Bye for now.